Charlie.
Oh, what's going?
How you doing, mate?
There's a building work going on, isn't there?
Yeah, they're redecorating and everything. They're doing the whole place up, make it more palatable, I suppose. Make it nice.
Okay. All palatable. A bit like the Wicked Witch's house that Hansel and Gretel went to. Apparently.
You,
It's quite edible.
you not happy with that? What's the matter?
Huh?
You don't seem very happy about it.
What the place being done up?
Yeah.
Well, it's all very well doing somewhere up, but you're only going to have the sign of shitbags, isn't it?
True. That's very true. Very
Yeah.
wise.
You know, the ambience doesn't really change from shitbag to shitbag.
Ambience.
Ambience.
Ambience. Don't like me. I don't know. Bloody hell. My head's going all over the place, mate.
Well, I had some good news this week.
What's that then?
I've got a clean bill of health.
A clean bill of
I've
health?
got a
What?
clean bill of
You
health.
don't have any money for your health?
No, it was a clean bill.
Clean bill.
Yeah.
Well, because last time I talked to you, you said you were going to have some tests done, but I had no idea what they were for.
Neither did I. The doctor just said to me, you know, he goes, Charlie, you're gonna have to have some tests. Yeah. So I went and had these tests, but I haven't. When all he told me was I had a clean bill of health. You know, when I had all these tests done, he didn't really mention what they were for.
Well,
So I think they were just kind of keeping people in work.
probably, yeah, they do that. They do. Mind you, they keep people in work for too long, if you ask me, sometimes.
Yeah.
I went down.
Retired.
I went down to the clinic a few weeks ago. I had to. They sent me down there all the time. Go and get weighed. Go and have blood tests. Go and get some balloon put in your arm to keep yourself alive. I don't know why they bother. But the thing is, I went down to the clinic and there's this mad woman there. Who was a nurse. She was a bit strange. She was talking at me very loud and screechy, and I thought, what the hell's going on? But she was very strange because they didn't have the electronic scales that they normally put me on to weigh me.
Right.
So she said, we'll do it old school. I went, what's the old school? What's she talking about? So she went out, she got
giant scales where they
put bags on one end.
bags on one end, you on the other.
No, what they did was they got two ordinary scales.
Right.
And made me stand with 1 foot on each one, and then added the two weights together to see how much I weighed. I'm not sure about the science behind that, to be honest.
I'm not sure behind the science because it would be a very similar weight on each.
Yeah,
I don't know if either of those are half of you.
and as those scales only went up to like 26 stone, and I'm more than that, I know I am. I'm not sure it was right.
I'm not sure that's right. They'll have to cut you in half
Yeah.
and put half of you on each scale.
Well, yeah. I mean, that could have been done, I suppose.
And then add them together. But that's a lot of complex operating procedures.
It's just like, I thought, what? I never had that. I'm 50, whatever. But the thing is, I've been getting weighed since I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I
They
don't
could
think
have added all those up.
I don't think I've ever once been weighed on two sets of scales and added together.
No.
Well, how old is this old school?
Well, very old.
Ridiculous.
Probably preschool.
So she weighed me, told me how much I weighed, and I thought, it doesn't sound right to me at all, but never mind. And then I did some blood tests, and they said to me, go to your doctor. So I went to my doctors. The doctor said, the blood tests show you might be diabetic in a month, but you're not right at the moment, but we want to make sure, so go and have some more blood tests done.
Could they tell how heavy you are from the blood test?
I suppose they'd have to take all the blood out, weigh that.
And use it as a proportion.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they know how much percentage of a human being is blood. So they'd be able to
Just times it by 100.
something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I went and had the second blood test done where you have to not eat anything. Then they give you this glop, which is a bit like very thick Lucozade.
Yeah.
And you drink it down in one.
Trickles aid.
and you sit there trying not to throw up for about 20 minutes, then they take another lot of blood, and then they say, here's some water, and you go, I don't think I can.
A bit hard to reach.
And then they tell you go back to your doctor, and you go back to the doctor, and he says, no, we're wrong, you don't need to, there's nothing wrong with you at all. You go, you need to have fucking testing, did I? Bloody idiot.
So what was all that for?
Oh, it's just because they feel like it.
He's just covering himself.
It's like you said, it's to keep people in jobs. They've got nothing to do with these bleeding clinics half the time. So they go, we'll send somebody for some tests because they phoned us up and they went, send us over some work, we've got nothing to do.
Yeah, I know, yeah. It can justify our existence.
Yeah. Of course, if there was something wrong, then you'd want to know, wouldn't you?
You'd want to know, but it wasn't because they would have found this problem purely by coincidence because you just happened to be there for a test.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
There was no...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, half the time I don't know if they know what they're testing for as such. It's a bit like when you go to shops and they hold a £20 note up to the sun or to a light.
Yeah.
And they hold it underneath and you go, what exactly are you checking for? And they go, I ain't got a clue. No idea, it's just people tell me what to do it.
You just got to do it, yeah. You just got to look at it.
It puts people off if they're wrong uns.
Yeah, isn't it? You know, you quickly think, you snatch it back and run out of the shop.
Yeah.
Try another shop.
But I think it's the whole thing. The problem is with doctors and the health system nowadays is too many chiefs and not enough doctors, nurses. We've got too much management going on. You need micromanagement.
Well, little managers.
Yeah, you get more of them in the building then because they're all so small.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
You can have 3 million managers, because they're micromanagers, they don't take up as much room
Yeah.
as one normal manager.
And that's why they have so many meetings. Because there's so many of them, but they only do a little bit each.
Yeah.
They have to keep meeting to talk about everything they're doing, and that's why they're always in meetings.
So I've got a lot of respect for anybody who works for the NUS.
The NUS.
The NUS.
The NUS, yeah, I have.
And I think they got a very difficult job, especially on a Saturday night. You see all these idiots coming in there on a Saturday night into A&E,
Yeah.
drunk as farts, coming in there and creating trouble and causing aggravation, and you think, wow, isn't that what football's for?
Yeah. But what happens after the match? You got to go somewhere.
Go home. That's what we used to do. We used to just go home.
Everyone else is down A&E.
Yeah,
And they laugh.
it's just like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting old.
Well, yeah, that's inevitable.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you come out of the game, you know, you've been in the pub before the game, you're drinking through the game, you come out, you go in the pub again, and then like everyone's a bit leery, yeah, it all gets a bit. If you want to carry on with the old Wild West behaviour, you've got to go to A&E. What do they expect?
See, that's what we need. We need more clubs. We need more clubs so that people can fall out of pubs after a football match when they're really leery,
Yeah.
and go into a club somewhere and get leerier and leerier until they collapse into a heap of unconsciousness, and then they won't have to go to A&E. Well, some of them probably will, but that's not the point.
See, that's my little business plan. I think I could probably get.
Is that one of those Christmas presents for up-and-coming girls who want to get into becoming entrepreneurs? You get like
One of them had a lot to do with girls, yeah.
My Little Pony, and then you get My Little Business Plan.
My little business plan, which wouldn't involve a pony,
It
but it
might.
might be quite pony.
It might. It's very true.
My little business plan was involving transportation of people who were legless. And I thought I was going to call it the Von Van.
Oh, right.
Von Van.
Right, the Von Van. I was a little bit confused there for a minute. my head's been in a different place lately with all of the social media stuff. For a moment, I thought you were talking about taking drunk people off the streets and changing their sex.
No.
Not transitioning, transportation.
Transportation.
Right, gotcha.
No, not transsexing.
Right.
Not gender reassignment, as they call it.
That's a good word for it.
Yeah, it is. And it's another football chant. Gender reassignment.
Yeah, works for me.
So, yeah, the Von Van.
The Von Van.
Basically, you know, people would sort of, you know, establishments that wanted certain people out of their area, and even like, you know, areas around pubs and things like that, who were sick and tired of all these people staggering about being sick in their gardens. The Von Van.
So, how would it work then? Is it just like a van that people can throw up in?
Well, they can get in there and do what they like, really. They're all in there together in a cage. And they can, you know, basically, I mean, and you can just park up and then pass out, and you can just kick them out.
Yeah, no,
you know,
see that
on a heath or woodland, something like that.
Heath or woodland. Preferably quite a long way away from where they were causing the trouble.
Well, exactly. You know, you'd have a couple of hefty geezers, just throw people in the back of the van, they can get on with vomiting or doing whatever they like. You know, you can have a VW transporter would fit actually, because you could change the VW logo to VV.
Yeah.
You know, Von Van.
Yeah, oh, that's good. Yeah.
Von Van transporter, and then just lob them in the back and then take them somewhere off discreetly. Maybe the local dump, because they're often a bit out of way.
True.
From most other things. I'm not sure you can have somewhere that's away from most other things.
But
it'll be out on its own, wouldn't it?
To an extent.
Floating.
To an extent, everywhere's away from other things.
It is. It
well,
is.
We need some things, but it's away from other things.
It is. It's just a question of distance. So, you'd have and just kick them out. So I'm just going to go to all the local authorities in England and propose the Von Van.
That sounds like a very good idea.
Kind of Friday and Saturday night clearance.
Yeah, no, sounds good. Sounds like a good idea to me. Alternatively,
of course, I wouldn't do any of the driving myself. I'm always fucking legless on Friday and Saturday night.
Alternatively,
I mean, lady.
what we could do is we could just lock all the pubs.
With the people inside?
Just leave them in there for good. So we have somebody on the door, you know, like they have when they have people on the door of pubs.
So what about my money?
When you have people on the door of pubs and they let people in and out, that sort of thing, what we do is we change it so they let everyone in until it's full capacity and then lock the door. Don't let anyone out.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And they all stay there.
It's going to be good for pub business.
They're not bothering anyone.
Nothing else, they're not bothering anyone. And then they just, what happens there stays there.
And then
they say,
over a period of time there's natural wastage as people die, and
what happens in the pub stays in the pub.
Once they're all dead, we just scoop out all the bodies in the mush.
So there wouldn't still be a need for my van.
Yeah, you could
change the name of the business.
You could have like a Hoover, like an aquavac type thing. Once it's all, they're all there.
And this is it. You take your money and you pay your choice.
Absolutely.
Basically, you know, if you want to go to the pub, yeah, you go to the pub, but you know, you're not out after before a certain time. You're fat.
Yeah. And nobody else has to worry about it. They're just there. And
see, another one of these great ideas you had about to sort of make society safer and cleaner.
I was thinking about running a mare, but I can't be arsed.
Really? Yeah. So, but you'd run on a kind of like a health agenda.
Yeah, I think that everybody, looking after everybody's health apart from maybe my own, because I can't be feeling like.
Well, no, most people have ideas, don't have any intention and blind them to themselves.
Yeah. But yeah, we look after everybody else's health by keeping the streets clean, making sure people in A don't go in overuse A&E, and the people who work for the NHS are not.
Well, they can
bothered by
concentrate
people.
on testing me and you.
Yeah, they do the important things.
Another thing is with that, I think people like a martyr. And if you're only interested in other people's health at the expense of your own, I think that will get voters.
Yeah, true. I just don't know if I could be asked.
No, it's the only thing is...
It's
see, some Malays, that is.
Malays?
Yeah.
In France?
Mm.
But I see my problem with it, all in all, is that the whole running for mayor thing, to me, it seems far too much like work.
I think work's bad for you.
Yeah.
All kinds of fitness.
I think any kind of physical exertion, apart from possibly
moving your eyes.
all parts of physical exertion are bad for you in some way or another.
Yeah, they are.
Because
you're wearing something out every time you use it.
and you look at it, it's the slightest thing that I reached over. I reached over to try and pick up the remote control the other day. Nearly threw me back out.
I know.
It's ridiculous.
You know, and you go to the doctor, and you say you went to the doctor with that. The doctor would say, you do more physical exercise. I said, but I'm here because I did something physical.
Exactly.
And they can't see the contradiction.
No, this is it. See, if I did more physical exercise, I'd be here more often because I'd be throwing me back out all over the place.
Yeah.
Bloody ridiculous.
So, and the other thing is, went flying through my mind, and then flew out again. The other thing about it is I had a doctor once, and the most unhealthiest bloke I've ever met. He drank 3 bottles of brandy and smoked 80 fags a day. Right? Had a heart attack halfway through a sort of very basic consultation with John from around the corner. And he didn't even know why he was there. And he had a heart attack. And he's a doctor. So it goes to show that the more you know about health, it doesn't make a blind bit of difference if you carry on being the same old shitbag.
Well, yeah. I mean, it is true. See, I think it's ridiculous, right? I went into a shop the other week, right? Supermarket, they've got it's just one of the big ones, So they said all the household goods as well as all the food and all that sort of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So they got all the household goods over here and all the food over there. And apparently, I'm only allowed to buy a knife if I've got ID to show I'm over a certain age.
Yeah.
And not allowed to buy more than a certain amount of knives, loose knives. Okay, you buy a bloody set of them.
Right.
70, but you can't buy 7 loose knives because it's. So you can do that, right? I have to have all this paperwork, and I have to be seen by the manager, and I can walk down the road to another aisle and buy a hammer drill, yes, with a blooming great big drill bit in it, and walk out and nobody asks a question.
No, or a rivet gun.
Yeah.
They're lethal.
And then I can just go down the road, plug it in somewhere and drill through someone's head.
Yeah, I know.
I don't get it.
Yeah. There's far too much made of knives. There's so many more weapons everywhere.
Yeah. And again we get to this whole thing about the health service. Health service can't cope with the amount of knife crime that's going on because people coming into A&E, having been stabbed.
There'll be more room once they start, you lock people in the pubs though.
True, that's very true. But you see, I think we should just do away with knives altogether.
Right.
Well, I don't see the use of them
Just
much,
use your
really.
teeth more.
Well, yeah, use your teeth, but use forks.
Yeah, and
spoons.
Yeah, and they're quite sharp, pointy things in their own, but you don't have them bad on forks.
See, you get a lump of cheese, or you make yourself a sandwich, right?
Yeah.
The bread's already sliced.
Yeah.
So you put that down there, right? You get butter. Now you can get squeezy butter, which is different. I don't know if I'm about using that. Yeah. When you get the butter, what you can do is get a spoon, and you spoon out some butter and put it on the bread, and you use the back of the spoon to spread it round. Don't need a knife. You got cheese. You can use a spoon on that, break it down, or you can grate it. Don't need a knife.
They'll be banning them soon.
So
Graters. I mean, I used one on someone's face once.
Never done that.
Yeah, it was the only thing that was to hand. It was just before the A&E on a Friday night.
I've used them for my feet.
Yes.
Because I lost the
pumice.
I lost those bits of wood with
wood.
Yeah, bits of wood with sandpaper on.
Yeah.
I use one of them with my feet sometimes because of the fact that my feet build up this huge amount of dig.
Yeah.
And
toe jam.
something like that. And I was scraping my heel and underneath my foot and all that hard stuff. And it wasn't working at all and it broke. So I thought, what am I going to use now? So I used the grater.
Yeah.
Worked a treat. Of course, I did have to go that way and eat afterwards, but
then, was it as long as it weren't a Friday or Saturday? Probably.
No, it was fine. It was all right. It was a Tuesday.
Probably sitting around waiting for people to come in.
Yeah, don't do anything on a Tuesday. I think most of the area's closed on a Tuesday, apart from bingo.
There's something that doesn't seem to be too bad for you.
Not bingo.
Yeah, you don't. I mean, it's not like you need a goggin thing.
I haven't seen my missus
play bingo.
You can see my missus playing bingo.
Was she dangerous?
Oh, tell you, if you picked up one of her dabbers, she'd have your bleeding arm off.
Really?
Yeah. She's like a velociraptor. Sits there. A dabber, you grab hold of him.
Right.
It's a vicious game, bingo, you know, mate.
It's very possessive.
It's changed a lot. It's worse than football. In a lot of ways, it's worse than football. Of course, you don't get teams. Don't get teams.
So it's more isolated.
Yeah. So it's an individual rage rather than a collective rage.
Collective rage.
But
see, that's probably why they do this thing in doctors at the moment called social prescribing. Have you heard of that?
No. Can't say I've.
Basically, doctors have a menu of other things to offer you which aren't medical. So you go to the doctor and you go in there and rather than say, okay, I can see you one of your legs is hanging on by a thread. First thing I do is need to send you for tests, but I also think you need to join this origami group, which is where you might meet other people with leg issues, but not hand-finger issues.
Right.
And it gets you involved with other people with similar interests, so it helps you with the depression that you didn't have until you went there. Waited 4 hours to see the doctor who then told you needed to go there in case you were depressed.
Well, I can see that would be helpful.
So that's what it's called, social prescribing. And I remember going to the social. I used to buy outside the social when we used to go down there to sign on. I used to buy bombers, amphetamine. Off a bloke who got them from his doctor outside, so that was like social prescribing in a way.
Yeah, no, I can see that.
Also with a touch of illicit, which makes things more exciting to me. If something's just a little bit criminal, it's motivating. And I think that's what they should do at doctors. They should prescribe low-level crime. Maybe
what they should do is they should have They should work out what medication you need.
Yeah.
Put it in a box in the doctor's office.
Right.
Which is unlocked.
Right.
And the doctor says, I've just got to pop out for a moment and leave you in there so you can at least look around there, mooch about and take the medication you need, but you don't know you need, and you think you've done a good one because
you've had it while you ain't there.
Yeah.
So that will kind of stimulate that adrenal sensation of being a little bit woo.
Yeah, absolutely.
But give you a tablet at the same time.
Yeah.
Which could be, it may or may not be something to calm you down after.
Yeah.
So the experience of going to the doctor, being dodgy and then getting something for nothing, it should be enough.
Yeah.
To sort you right out.
Of course, the problem I have nowadays is that I've been on 3 different drug trials.
All right.
I don't know what they were for, or really whether they would have done any good for me. But
Were the drugs good?
I don't know, it's the problem. You see, the problem is, I thought, I'll go along, they'll give me loads of drugs, and I can say to them whether they were good or not.
Yeah, exactly.
But what happens is, you go along and they give you these things, and they do these things called double-blind testing.
Yeah.
And I thought, what's that all about? Well, it turns out is, I don't know if I'm getting real drugs or placebos. Placebos. I honestly thought he was a singer.
It's so right.
Except
placebo Dominguez.
Yeah. So anyway, but what it is apparently is you get real drugs and you get ones that are only pretend drugs.
All right. That's a con, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't know which I'm getting. They don't know which I'm getting because somebody else chooses.
So you're blind and they're blind.
Yeah.
Double blind.
And then you get a situation where it's like, I'm going back saying, I don't know if these drugs are working. And they go, well, we don't know if those drugs are working either. And I go, well, what's the bloody point of the test?